So simplify fractions. You did a lot of this in 6th grade, so I'm hoping it's a pretty fast, easy day. For example, if it's 35 over 40, and I needed you to simplify, how did you guys learn how to do this in 6th grade?
Try the GCF. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Totally. GCF. Totally, yeah.
Lowest common factor? Oh, wait, no, that one's greatest.
Greatest common factor?
I said
Like
lowest.
Not the lowest, the biggest. Greatest. Greatest common factor, and then what'd you guys do?
you made a what's it called?
A giant one?
Giant
Oh
one.
yeah, giant one. Oh yeah.
Giant one.
Oh. I hated that. She would always make me do it, and I was like,
Giant one. Like, who said that?
Joseph.
So, what would go into your giant one for this problem? 5.
Someone that has 11.
And then what do I do with it? Well, what do I do with my greatest common factor? So if we're going to simplify, we're going to divide. So in simplify, we're trying to make the numbers smaller. If you multiply, you make the numbers bigger, right? So dividing is when we make it smaller. So the whole point of simplifying is to make the numbers smaller. So think smaller,
7, 8.
dividing. So we're dividing by your greatest common factor, which is 5. In other words, what number can I divide the top and the bottom by? Oh, I can divide the top and the bottom by 5. So 35 divided by 5, 7, 40 divided by 5, 8. Then you check, is there anything else I can divide by?
No.
And that's our answer. We're good?
Yay,
All right.
you did it.
10
Done for today.
over 16. I wish, trust me, I wish. 10 over 16.
2, 5. No, wait, yeah, 2, 8, no, 6. 2.
So, one thing is, whatever number you're thinking of has to be the same for top and bottom.
Yeah, 2.
So some of you shouted out a couple of different numbers. It's like it works for the top, but it doesn't work for the bottom. Or it works for the bottom, it doesn't work for the top. So what number works for the top and bottom? 2.
Equivale 2.
Do we really have to do the whole giant
No.
one? No. I always hated doing it. And if I would do it like that, how you did it, I would get in trouble. And I would get so mad.
Oh, how things have changed.
I don't think
Okay, we're recording this. You don't want me to show your 6th grade teacher this. Tell them the truth. 10 divided by 2? 5 over 8.
5, 8.
12 or 24?
12.
Yeah. 6, 2, 4. So for this one, there's so many numbers you can divide by. Your brain might say 2, 4, 6, 8. No, not 8. 12, right?
You want to find the one that makes it the smallest.
Yeah, so when you have all these numbers, you always want to pick the greatest one, right? But sometimes your brain doesn't see the greatest one. Sometimes your brain just sees 4, and that's okay. You're just going to have to simplify more than we do. If you know the greatest one, like 12, use it. But let's pretend I only think of 4. So if I divide this by 4, divide this by 4, let's pretend, I get 3 over 6. And you're like, wait a minute, 3 over 6, I can still simplify by 3. And at the end, everyone should have 1/2. No matter how you get there, if you use 12, you obviously got it right away, right? But for some of us, we didn't see the 12, so we used 4 or we used 2. Whatever number you use, cool, awesome. At the end of the day, we're supposed to get 1/2.
I got 1.
Okay?
I got 1/2.
So, yes.
Are we going to be starting Alex this week or next week?
Why do you talk about Alex?
I don't know. What's my mind?
I guess so.
Do like
I
30.
saw it over there. It's because someone said
Matt.
Alex Superstar.
In a day.
Yeah. We are probably not this week. Probably next week.
Oh my god.
All right. Okay.
You
Okay.
guys started anyway. I said it or not.
Exactly. But these kids, you know, they think like,
You don't have to remind. You have to blame someone.
dude, do you know how much we talked about Alex this morning? So it's fresh in my brain. All right, 18 and 72.
9.
9. Go for it. Go for it. 9.
I don't know.
It's 9. We're telling you it's 9.
Oh.
Because we know our multiplication table. So, Crystal, I need you to divide this and this by 9.
It's only
We're all dumb.
denominator though.
We're telling you it's 9. Joseph, let's not be so honest. 2 out of 8. But are we done? No.
Oh wait, it's you couldn't you do 18 as well?
Yep.
Oh,
brain rot.
So, 2 divided by 2.
1.
8 divided by 2. So, 1/4
So divided by.
You could have gotten that if you did.
by 18. I know, but I mean, I scared enough people with telling them it was 9. Can you imagine if I said 18? Oof. Chaos. That would erupt. Are we okay with simplifying? The reason I'm teaching you how to simplify is because when we're dealing with fractions and percents and probability, you're going to start to need to simplify these things, okay? So this is a basic skill. All right, we're good? We're okay? All right, switching over. Next topic.
Next top.
Adding fractions.
Oh, that's my favorite thing. Oh, we did. That's like you on the math homework.
Oh, don't you have to make the denominator the same?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So number 1.
This is like quick stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but guess what? When I gave it to you on the homework,
People get it wrong.
People got it wrong.
make sure you have common denominators.
Oh.
Okay, and I'll teach you how to remind you of how to do that. And number 2, remember, do not add, I'm going to put subtract as well, because it's the same thing for subtract. Do not add / subtract the denominators. Okay. So, this is what you had beginning of September for homework. So, number 4, most of you got it right. Your answer was 3/4, right? Right? I know. A lot of you got that one right. It's like, yeah, all right, cool. Then number 5, the denominator is 3 and 10, right? And this is what I saw a lot of you do. You did this.
What?
A lot of you. Don't make me make you take this worksheet out because I should have taken pictures. It's like, oh no, they were different, so you just added them. But it's like, you didn't add them here. You didn't tell me it was 3 out of 8. So it was interesting to see like your thinking behind like this problem. You really knew how to do it. But then when it came to different denominators, you guys all went all crazy on me. And that. So, hey, if you have this Dalmatian, and I corrected you guys on this one. If you have that little Dalmatian in your binder, you might want to later on take a peek and be like, oh, was I one of those kids? No. Shame on me. All right. So, are we okay with the easy ones? Like, you all know how to do when it's the same, right?
Yeah.
So when it's the same, you just add the top numbers, and we're done, right? We're all good on that? Okay, cool. So let's concentrate on the hard ones. Let's do the one that was on your homework. So, no, I don't want to do that one. 1/8 plus 5/6. First off, I like to write the fractions on top of each other. 1/8 plus 5/6. Okay, so you have to make sure that you have a common denominator. 8 and 6, they're not the same. They have to find something in common. What's in common?
Least common denominator.
Least common denominator. So,
Yeah, 24.
ouch, yes. So, when you come to least common denominator, it's different than common factor. What we just did, oh my God, was greatest common factor. This one's called least common multiple, which means you're going to be multiplying by these numbers. So,
I love multiplication.
yeah. 8. 8 times 1, 8. 8 times 2, 8 times 3, 8 times 4, so on, right? Then you start multiplying by 6. 6 times 1, 6 times 2, 3, 4, dot, dot, dot. Okay? So, some of you can do this in your head. Fantastic. Others of you, this is how you're supposed to do it. So, you find your least common multiple, meaning what do they have in common when you start multiplying by them? So, what number do they have in common?
24.
So, they have 24 in common. So, therefore, that's our new denominator.
Simple as that.
Yep. So now, are we making the numbers bigger or smaller? We're making them bigger, so we're going to be multiplying. Okay? But to simplify, we divide. To find common denominators, we multiply. The denominators, another thing, it can be smaller than this number. So 8, your new denominator cannot be smaller than 8. 6, your new denominator cannot be smaller than 6. So when you're thinking of like, oh, what do they have in common? It can be smaller than these numbers. All right? All right, then you ask yourself, do I just put a 1 here?
No.
Do I just put a 5 here? No. So if your bottom numbers change, so do your top numbers. Because some of you did that, maybe not on this homework. Like you're like, oh yeah, my common denominator is 30. Yeah, okay, my common denominator is 30 on the homework. But what you did is you went like this. You just kept these numbers. And it's like, no, you can't. If you change the bottom, you have to change the top. So you ask yourself, 8 times what number is going to give you 24? 3. So if I multiply the bottom by 3, guess what I have to do to the top? Multiply by 3. 1 times 3, 3. 6 times what is 24? 4 times 4, 20. So this is like your giant 1, but I don't do the giant 1.
So 20 now, 20 plus 3.
So now you add the tops.
23 over 24.
Do not add the bottoms.
I did mine in such a more simple way.
Well, I have to show all my work.
Did
Same.
really? Because I kind of did that like in 2 steps.
No work, no points.
All right. Let's try this one. 7 over 12 plus 2 over 3. 7 over 12 plus 2 over 3. Yep. So what's our common denominator?
12.
So you have 12 and you have 3. So you start multiplying by 12. You start multiplying by 6 until you get the number that they have in common. Like I said, some of you can do this in your head. Some of you are realizing, oh, is that how you guys find your numbers? Yep. This is how we find our numbers. We figure out what do they have in common, and we set it equal to that. And sometimes it's a number we're already using, right? Sometimes that happens, and we get really lucky. So 12 times what is 12? Well, this is just times 1, right? That just stays the same.
12 times 6.
And then 3 times what is 12?
8 and 12.
Times 4 times 4. So 2 times 4 is 8. Now we add our new top numbers. What's 7 plus 8?
15.
So
But it'll have to be.
does anybody know what this is called?
Oh.
Income.
Improper. Improper fraction. So this is an improper fraction, not proper, because the top number is bigger than the bottom number. It's called improper. We want to change it to a,
Proper fraction. So it's 1.
which is called
Mixed.
mixed number.
Mixed numbers.
1 and 12, 3, 12.
1 and 3 over 12, which is equal to 1 and 1/4.
Oh, I knew that.
Right.
There's one more problem.
This is called a mixed number. Why is this one called a mixed number? Because it has a whole number and a fraction. This is called an improper because your top number is bigger than your bottom number. Are we okay?
There's another one.
No.
Yes.
You get it?
Let's do another one.
We'll do 20 more, just for fun.
Yeah. Welcome everyone. I know you want it. And there's problem.
No more giant.
Isaac, if there's an extra one, can you give it to Ariel, please? Alright, it's Ariel, because I didn't give Vanessa enough.
Oh, my back hurts.
Alright. One side's simplifying and one side's adding fractions. What side do we want to do first?
Adding friends.
Simplify.
Okay. Well, I think some of you have it hole punched where this is the front side, and maybe a couple of you have it where this is the front side. I don't know. Alright, well let's do, I guess let's practice our simplifying skills. It's pretty easy. It's very light work.
No.
Alright. Now, in case you're struggling with simplifying, the 4 and the 6. To use a multiplication table, for those of you who are struggling with this, you're going to find a row or a column that has the 4 and the 6 inside of it. So if I go to the 2, there's the 4 and there's the 6. They're in the same line, 4 and 6. So therefore, I can use the number 2 to simplify it. I can divide by 2 on the top and the bottom. 4 divided by 2? 2. 6 divided by 2? 3. So my answer is 2 over 3. Now, 12 and 15. I don't know what I can divide 12 and 15 by. So on my multiplication table, I find 12 and 15 on the same line. Well, on the 2, I can find the 12, but I don't have a 15. So that means I can't use the 2. I'm going to go to the 3. I see the 12. Oh, and I see the 15. The 12 and the 15 are both on the same line of the 3, which means I'm going to be using the number 3. This is if you don't know. Jose or Juan, if I tell you what can I divide 12 and 15 by and you don't know, this is how you can use a multiplication table.
Oh, okay, then I'm fine.
Simplify. Yep.
4/5.
Okay. A lot of times it's 2, 3, or 5. Those are like your best friends again. And I'm going to add the number 3 to your BFFs. So a lot of times you can simplify. There's so many that you can simplify by 2, or at least start. All right, go, go, go. I know. Can you imagine your Christmas list is going to be like this long for all your BFFs? Sheesh.
No, I can only ask 5
Did you hated that? You said finally I got friends. Oh. No.
But in like 2 weeks, Aiden, your BB best friends for life, like your buddy will be Alex. Like you guys are gonna be like so close.
No.
Your new, you know.
I was never did that.
No, what?
Like honestly, I might sue the person.
I forgot
About
Alex.
I'm gonna roll.
All right, Joseph, don't do that,
I
please.
feel like we should sue the person who made that.
Yeah.
All right, okay. All right, let's go. Let's get to work. I want everybody to quietly work. I'm gonna give you set timer for 4 minutes.
For both sides?
No, just this side. That's probably too much time.
No, it's way no.
All right, let's get to work. 4 minutes, go. If you need your multiplication table, please have it out. I'd rather you use it than sit there and not work.
What page is it?
Yeah, left one or not. It can go like it's the way you want to look at it. Pick away and then just do it. Owen, is that your eraser on the floor?
Oh, that might be mine.
Yeah, wait, hold on.
I might have dropped it.
You already touched it.
It's a wet scotch.
Gross. Four and 12? Well, you can either look at it like this or like this. Does that make sense? Like 6 and 10. Here's a 6. Here's a 10. Oh, what? Which one am I gonna use? 2. Maybe it's easier going this way. All right. Zip it. Start recording, Kevin.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, Ken.
Working. We're making it look like we're working by not covering up our paper. Which one?
What's 9 a prime number?
What can you divide 9 by? 3. 9. Remember, 3 is like one of your best friends then.
Yeah, that's 3.
Why do we so much trash back here?
Doesn't sound like it.
Oh, graph paper. Yeah, make me match up your graph paper. No way, buddy. I will do nothing.
We sure work on
If you need to, it's not here. Number 5 you can divide by 4. Wait. Ow. Oh my god.
Can you check if my answers are correct?
Excuse me?
Can you check if my answers are correct?
Yeah, let me. Hold on, let me process something.
Oh, that makes me feel weird. What happened to
Yeah. Is she doing Miss Soner's work in my class?
Oh,
That would be terrible.
Millie long caught that.
What?
You're picking up that wet scotch. I wouldn't want to do that. Save the day.
Ready. Yes, ready.
So number 6 you gotta divide by 4.
Okay, Eric, Brian, let's get to work.
What did I do?
You listen to Eric call your name.
I can do this now?
Yep.
She hasn't given my number.
All right.
Wait, also, Mandy, for number 2 on the adding proper fractions,
What do you
does it have to be a mixed number or does it can it be improper?
We should go all the way to mixed numbers. All right. Even if you're not done, we're gonna switch to the back. Even if you're not done,
Or the front.
or the front. All right. Yeah, Aiden, we said that. We acknowledged it. We're good. Okay. Now, 8 and 4. What's our common denominator between 8 and 4? 8. Now, if you use 16, don't erase it. You're still right. You're just going to have to simplify more than we do. So if you don't see 8 and you use Joseph, you use 16, that's fine. You're just going to show more work. All right. So 16 plus 16. I know. 8. 8. Always check to see if you can use one of those numbers, because that would help you show less work. So this one, how do I go from 8 to 8? Times 1, right? So that still stays 3/8.
5 eighths. You're welcome.
You're not helping. 4 times what is 8?
2.
So 1 times 2 is 2. Now that we're here, Aiden, now we can say the answer of 5/8.
5 eighths.
Yes, without confusing everybody. Like, how in the world, why is he saying 5/8? If you got 16, you would have 10 over 16. You just simplify it down to 5 over 8. Okay? Number 2. Look at 3 and 9. Can I use one of these numbers? Yeah, I can use the 9. Remember, you can't go smaller than that number. So we're going to set them equal to 9. So yeah, the you can either use the biggest number listed or bigger. So I can't use the 3 because 9 can't go back to 3. You can't make it smaller. All right, 3 times what is 9? 3. So I'm going to multiply the top by 3. What's 2 times 3? 6. And then this one stays the same, right? So 6 plus 8.
14 over 9.
Well, this is an improper. 14 over 9.
How dare you?
1, 9, 5, 8, 9.
Wait, what?
1, 5, 9.
1 and 5 ninths. So how do we get 1 and 5 ninths? Well, you divide. How many times does 9 go into 14? 1 time. And this is the only time we like remainders. What is our remainder? 5. Now your remainder is your best friend. Not before. Definitely not going to be on your test.
For number 4 is the answer 1.
Huh?
For number 4 is the answer 1.
Yeah.
Number 4, 1? Did you guys get 1?
Well, it can be 10 out of 10 or 1.
1. All right, cool. I love how you guys are working ahead of me. If I'm going too slow for you, then you're working way faster than I am.
I'm on number 7 already.
That means faster.
I'm on number 14.
Okay, but we shouldn't work slower than me. We should 100% be done with number 1 and number 2. That's my pace, which is the slowest you can go. You're either working faster than I
I
am
like your pace. It's low.
at the same pace.
I can be more even. 6.
silencer devices.
Whoops. Okay, not for friendly in a heart.
What? It's easy.
It's hard.
It's one.
Thank
One
you.
and one.
Now I know what it is.
One and
What?
Which one?
Thank you.
One.
one and one.
What number was that?
Remember that.
Oh, what? Pretty sure it's one. Barely starting.
Times 2 times 2 is 4 times 3 times 3 is 3. So it'd be 7 over 6, which Isaac is equal to what?
One over
1 and
1 over 6.
yeah. So when you say the whole number and then you transition to the fraction, you gotta say the word and. 1 and 1/6. Because if you say 1, 1/6, 1 and 1/6, yeah, that sounds fine. 1 and 1/6, but you say and in there. 1 and 1 and yeah, you did.
Wait, what did he do though?
I don't know. What did he do?
Wait. I'm confused.
Isaac, that's extremely inappropriate. Really inappropriate.
Wait, what happened?
Don't worry about it, guys.
Let me actually work it. Yeah, that's a good idea.
You know.
Okay, Aiden, let's dip it and let's get to work.
Alright, I'm on number 7.
Let's stay focused. No, it's times 1. So 10 times 1 is 10. So 4 times 1 is 4. If you don't change the bottom, you don't change the top.
So, I mean,
What does 6 and 12 have in common?
I'm confused with number 7.
What's the common denominator between 11 and 5?
55.
I would say just put 1 and 1 because you got the denominator and there's 1 so you got 1.
So times 3 times 1, so that's 14 over 12. 14. Oh, 1, got it. I saw it. I just thought your answer was 1/6. And I was like, why won't she get 1/6? It's light work because this isn't the first time you've. This is a continuation.
Number 5. 4. 4.
Yeah, so it's 12. All right.
4 plus 4.
We got the right denominator.
Oh, wow.
It's 12, Crystal. It's 12. 7 and 12. Common denominator is 12. Now do the math.
Times 5 is 2.
755 times 5 is 35.
2.
Times 11, so 57.
How much time
So
is
it's
going
one.
to?
Line wage.
Yeah. Because they're wanting to work. That's
What
why.
I'm high school literate.
I finished, Kevin. Oh.